All right, let's get right into it here. Market is up about 1.2%. On the S&P, looks like semiconductor led the market today. Small caps are up about 1.7%. Nvidia is up continuously last couple days here. Netflix led the way. Bitcoin down. Looks like Riot is up along with the CLSK close to 9%. Gold is down. Silver up. VIX tanked. Let's stick with the S&P 500 ETF. Spider! 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed on. Where we closed yesterday. So as you can see, we talked about this on the last night's video, that this does not comply with the evening star reversal pattern, because the right side red candle needs to size up with the previous green candle. So as you can see how that candle, the red candle is about 40%. Like looking at the body here, it doesn't completely cover the green candle there. So what it was more like a bull flagging pattern rather than a bull or bearish evening star reversal pattern, right? And so when we gapped up here, because that's where we close, that's where we open, you can see how quickly on that first hour, bulls rushed in here. Looks like probably that first hour move was all these short covering getting triggered. And then also probably people are setting their entries getting triggered, probably somewhere in this vicinity. And that's what we saw, why we saw that very big bullish candle. Perfect. And then pretty much throughout the day, we grinded higher, pull back a little bit. So as you can see, we have all the moving averages, moving average cluster here, right? They're coming down like a waterfall, right? So as you can see, this is a vicinity. This is the moving average where bulls had a hard time breaking above. And once that down gap was created, things got extremely hectic here. Now, bulls are facing this moving averages cluster. Because when you're tired, when you're overbought, you're not gonna able to push through. And obviously unless some kind of a upside shenanigan or something like that, but in a conventional mean, in a general sense, more often than not, you're not gonna able to break above some of those moving averages. Let's check out that oscillator. So as you can see, that oscillator hitting the overbought zone here. Yes, right? And the oscillator hitting overbought zone, a lot of times that is going to insinuate a pullback that could possibly be coming at least in the next 1 or 2 days. Because, bulls can kind of try to move sideways a little bit or something like that. But what bulls can do when you're in an oversold sentiment, they can actually gap it up. So if the bulls can gap up above it, because we're overbought, it's going to be difficult to push through. And especially even when we're in a bullish uptrend, even then, these overbought signals were bearish, right? Because we pulled back for a day or two, even when the price was above all the moving averages. Now those moving averages are coming down. The overall current sentiment is bearish. Again, I'm not talking about the long-term or primary term. I'm just talking about current overall sentiment as of today. right? And then if we gap up a little bit, that's not going to cut it. You do need to gap up close to above somewhere here, 509 at least. Because if we gap up a little bit, right? If we gap up just a little bit, what's going to happen is it's going to run into, let's say we close here and then we gap up right here. There's my short term and micro term, mid term, long term. All these moving averages are going to act as a resistance. So we gap up a little bit, it's going to fade back down. And then you know what happens? Gap up and fade, and all kinds of people start panicking. These micro term traders, and it's going to come back down to 499, 500 very, very quickly. And bears are going to try to attack this up gap from this morning. So that's the problem that we're dealing with for the buyers here. Buyers are dealing with the overall bearish sentiment. We got this moving averages coming down like the waterfall. Buyers are dealing with the overbought sentiment. Bulls are tired. Only bet is to gap it above it, 509. Otherwise, bears are gonna push it to about 500. I'm gonna come back for you. We'll reassess the situation in your evening look trading tomorrow.